Manit Week kicked off on Kwaj with an elementary school boat regatta. Various classes constructed boats out of recycled material and raced them in the family pool. The rules of the race were that all boats had to be made from used materials and could not be held together by tape. Vessels were also to be designed solely by the students. To propel the boats, students would create waves by kicking their feet into the water. Whoever reached the end of the pool first won. The elementary school learned about traditional Marshallese boat design, as well as buoyancy and recycling. A great way to study 3 topics at one time. The Manit Week festivities continued in the MP room, where students and teachers celebrated Marshallese culture with various dances. Marshallese traditions were celebrated further during the island-wide Manit Week festival. Even more dancing commenced, as guests enjoyed food from the Ralik chain to the Ratik chain. One of the more popular activities during the Manit Week celebration is coconut opening. Hundreds of coconuts are gathered around a group of wood stakes. To open a coconut, simply stab, turn, and peel. Then repeat a few times till you're left with a delicious snack. Manit Week is a time for everyone to study and embrace Marshallese culture. From visiting the Island Cultural Center to other hands-on activities, including palm weaving. Palm fronds are gathered from all over Kwaj to be made into various crafts. The individual leaflets are woven together to create bio-friendly and long-lasting items, including baskets, plates, and everyone's favorite, especially on a hot day, hats. hands-on, or just enjoy the atmosphere, Manit Week has something for everyone.
This is 99.9 The Wave. We have a special guest in the studio this morning, Robert Kemp. He's the Transit Billeting Supervisor here on the island. And for those of us who are new on the island and maybe in quarantine, can you explain exactly what is a Transient Billeting Operations and what is a Transient Billing Supervisor?
Think of a hotel operation. Hotel here on Kwaj, which we have actually currently 2. Here on Kwaj, you have the Kwaj Lodge, which currently is being used as quarantine facilities.
Right.
For the RMI.
Right there across from the airport.
That's correct. And then our other one is in building 704, which is above the APHIS facilities.
Right there where the kind of above the food court and all that stuff too, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Right, so it's like running a Marriott.
Kind of, but not quite as detailed as that.
What kinds of things do you need to know from your perspective to take a vacation on Roi, or say you're working there and you just need to spend the night?
Yeah, it comes under 2 forms then at that point. Let's go with the working first, so that's the shortest part. If you're working on Roi, you're sent up there, basically we'll call it TDY. You're sent from Kwaj to go there to work, and for some reason you get laid over. Well, then you would want to work through whichever company or the military, whoever you're with, the company to put in a request for official request for lodging. And that's done through our office and here at Kwaj. And we're in Coral BQ, room 1 on the ground floor. It's right off Lagoon, 6 and Lagoon is where the BQ is located at.
Right, so that's the temporary location since you moved from the Kwaj Lodge?
That's correct, that's correct. And we don't know how long we're going to be there, but we're got offices throughout the ground floor right now. But room 1 is our main office, which has transit billeting operations, sort of front desk. Think of it as your front counter when you go to a hotel. That's where you're going to go check in. And also in that office, we also have the housing office people. I know it gets kind of confusing for a lot of people because you see everyone in there and you think, oh, everyone does everything, but it's actually different people doing different jobs. We do have some crossover as far as people can do certain things from each other's department. But when you come in, it's nice to know when you go in, hey, I need to see transit. I want a hotel, basically, or I want a room on Roi. I want a room on Kwaj. You just go in there. I need to see the transit people. All
right. So even though you're going to Roi, you're going to catch a commuter flight, which we can talk about.
Sure.
Even though you're going to Roi, you need to book the room here on Kwaj. And what was it, Coral BQ?
Yes.
And you have to do that before you leave, and you have to pick up your key.
Yes, that's
before you leave.
Yeah. There's the only exception where you would not check through Kwaj if you're on Roi and you get stuck at Roi.
Gotcha.
You would go to the housing office there, which also is the billeting, same setup. That's over in Outrigger.
Right, the Outrigger building, right? That's the utility building for everything on Roi. Seems like everything's there. The barbershop.
Right.
You can get the missile burger there. It's this all in one stop kind of place.
The recreational room rate is $15 right now.
Wow, what a deal.
It is. It's a good deal.
Yeah.
Considering you get a nice place to stay. We have 2 that are currently open on Roi Namor, which is Zeus and Nike building. It's a nice way to get away for a few days.
Right. So if you're going over there to work and you go through the process and all that, is there a different rate for that?
Yes. Glad you brought that up, Randall. It's $109 is the official rate.
Right.
And that's the same as if you are a resident on Kwaj and you want a room on Kwaj for guests.
Right.
So let's say you got somebody that's a guest you want to bring in. It's going to cost you $109 still, even for that, because the discount only is for you going to a different island and your guest going to the other island.
Do you know why that is? Why it's more expensive getting a room? If you live on Kwaj, getting a room on Kwaj, probably to discourage people from using up rooms that are meant for people coming from somewhere else.
Right, where we need that room especially too, because this is a space A. What people have to realize as well is space A. And if we're at normal operations without all the restrictions of quarantine, we have a lot more people coming in on a continuous basis, coming in and out. Get in while the getting's good, while the rates are low, because I would foresee at some point these rates being increased because of the amount of cost involved with just keeping a room in a good state.
Right, and I know you're renovating some rooms and things like that, so yeah, I would imagine that would be the case. So book your room as much as you can in advance. make sure you pick up your key and you give a call ahead and make that reservation. And then you just book the commuter flight, Space A, to get over there. And then you should be set because you already have your key. You'll have everything you need, and you're good to go. Now, I assume it's the same the other direction, right? So if you live on Roi and you want to come to Kwaj because you got a dentist appointment or you just want to hang out in the big city.
Right, downtown, while, as they say. It's downtown.
Downtown. Yeah. Same process, right? The rates are the same.
That's correct. It would be vice versa. Same thing there. Where a Roi resident wanting to come here for whatever reason to get away, they would again pay $15 for the single. And if there is a double occupancy rate of $20.
Okay, so if you want to come with a friend and you want to stay in the same room, you save some money.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's great. So do they pick up their key in Roi?
No.
Okay. So in Roi, so basically you are. I'm just trying to walk this through in my mind.
Sure.
So you're in Roi. You need to still call and reserve a room on Kwaj, and they would still call that main number, correct?
3477.
3477. Book your room, and then you show up on Kwaj, get your key.
Come here to our office.
Okay.
Room 1.
Okay.
Coral BQ 563. I hope I'm right.
That's a lot of numbers.
It is. But I tell you what, it's the building on the corner of 6th and Lagoon.
6th and Lagoon.
And there's a big sign out on the front, midway of the building for the main entrance.
Yeah.
And it even has it on there about the housing and the transit with arrows pointing you to the right direction,
right,
so you don't get lost.
Right. And then you pick up your key and then you head over to Macy's or what was the real name of that place?
Jabro.
Jabro. Is that Marshallese?
Yes, it is.
Okay, gotcha.
Once you come in, there's paperwork there. Read the paperwork, please. Don't just sign it.
So you got to read the fine print, or is it pretty? It's not like 8 pages.
It's big enough where you can see. It's only one page.
Okay,
really.
good.
It's one page.
So it's one page, so it should be easy to read.
Yes, very.
And what are the highlights of it? Anything you want to talk
highlights
about?
About keys. Okay. That's one thing I really wanted to talk about. Lost keys, lost items too, but the key issue. And plus there's a statement on there where you're signing saying you're responsible for any losses, damages, etc. And that includes like excessive waste left in rooms as well.
Right. So if you're like, the band Van Halen and you go in and decide to take the TV and throw it through the window, you're going to be liable for that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Definitely.
If you smoke in there, which you shouldn't be doing.
I'd like to add too, Randall, that's also you're responsible for your guest. You will be the one that's paying the bills if there's any kind of damages. And I don't like talking negative, of course, because let's just say there won't be any damages. If you're bringing relatives in from the States, if you're in a BQ and you're going to have them stay in Jabro building here, then you are responsible for those people as well. Any of your guests, no matter who they are, as long as they're a bona fide guest, authorized, and you have them 480'd in on the base,
right,
then you're responsible for those people no matter where they are.
Gotcha. So when my wife and I were on Roi, I think it was one of the first times we went, my wife lost her key, couldn't find it anywhere, looked around, just could not find it, couldn't find it at all. What happens in that scenario?
In that type of scenario, the first thing you want to do is report it to the security desk on Roi, if it's at Roi.
Okay.
If it's at Kwaj. If you don't know and you find out when you get back here and you're turning in your key, like, oh, I don't have my key, then we need to start the action then at that point, and we would call from our area, would call the Roi. If you thought it was at Roi, would try to get the security there looking where it might have where you might have lost it at. And we'll give it a day, 24-hour period. If the key turns up, there's no issue. But if it doesn't turn up, then we have to get the whole lock cylinder changed out, because then we have a safety and security issue at that point.
Yeah, so you could be staying in the room and somebody could just come on in. Right.
Yeah. So, and the key issue has been bad in the past, and we've gotten a little bit more control on it, but we are going to start charging for these rekeying and cylinders. And right off the bat, I remember we were talking about the catalog of services. Right. It lists in there, and it's $50 to change out a cylinder lock.
Okay.
And $2 per key. And you got to think, it's not just the key that you've lost, but all our keys.
Right.
And at minimum, that's 5 keys.
Okay. So it's going to be $60 or so if you lose a key.
Yeah, it's going to be. that's why I would say, like, please don't leave them.
Yeah, but still, that's pretty reasonable. I mean, you think about a hotel back in the States, right? I mean, you can go online and you can get the cheap hotel no-tell, right, for $60-$70, right? You're still doing well.
Yeah.
Getting a room here, so you can't complain about that. So say for instance, we have a stay there and we really loved it, or we had a stay there and we found that the wallpaper was coming off the walls, or there was a problem of some kind. How do people report that kind of feedback back to you?
I'm so glad you asked that, because that's a big thing that I want to get out there. And I've even talked with my guys, my team here. I'm really asking them to push the surveys that we have at the counter. Again, I'm looking to try to make it smaller as far as not asking as many questions, but leaving a comment section so you can list anything down. We have survey sheets at both offices, one in Roi and one in Kwaj. And those survey tickets will go in a box. There's a box at the counter. We're still working at Roi. Otherwise, I would say until we get the box at Roi set up, bring that back and drop it off at our office. Or you can wait till you get to our office and fill it out there. And it is a lot box, and I don't want to go in it but myself. And then I take those when we get them. And if you want a response, there's a place in there for you to leave contact information where we'll give a response.
Okay.
And I do invite constructive criticism. That's the only way we can make it better.
Sure.
Because I can't be in every room every day.
Right.
And I have like a certain amount. We have quality checks on most of the rooms most of the time. But anything that you have that you notice, and that brings up another great point. If you go to your room and you don't have the minimum stuff that's required in the room, or there's an issue in the room, let the staff know right away so that we can annotate that on their form. Because I don't want to charge anyone for anything that wasn't they're doing.
Sure.
That's a damage or that's not there. And plus, I want you to have a good stay, and I want it to be a clean room, a nice room. I want the ACs to work. I want the lights to work. I want the refrigerators to work. I want the microwaves to work. I want all the sinks, the toilets. I want you to have your soap, shampoo, the coffee, all the things we're required. So I want to know if something's wrong, because I don't want FMWR to be blindsided. I don't want the commander to be blindsided. And mainly at the end of the day, I want you to have a really good customer service experience there at the building. And I'm looking for comments, any kind of suggestions too. If I get enough of them that say, hey, that's a great idea, let's go take that up and see if we can't make that happen.
Right, sure.
So any idea, just give them to me. And if there's issues, I want to hear the issues. No one likes to hear bad things, but it helps us make it better. Because if I get enough people say, hey, that's an issue. This is like the third comment I've had about that, and especially this room. That helps me out tremendously. And you brought up something, Randall, about when you called her when there's issue. Also want to bring up to you guys to let everyone out there know there's numbers posted at the offices as well for after hours, where you can actually reach people. Sharon, especially there, because her hours are normally around 4:30, and they're gone from that building.
Right. But yeah, we definitely want everything to work. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we've pretty much hit most of the topics. Again, I may be reached at my personal number for my office is extension 2900.
2900. That's easy to remember. 2900.
Yeah, 2900.
Yeah.
So if you got any issues, again, I'm not in my office all the time. I'm out and about. So, but you can feel free to do that, or you can email me at robert.kent, KENT, @amentum.com.
Easy enough. That's great. Well, Rob, I really appreciate you coming in.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Here's your fact of the day. 1 in 7 women and 1 in 18 men have experienced stalking victimization during their lifetime, in which they felt very fearful or believed that they or someone close to them would be harmed or killed.
My name is Cynthia McKenzie. Welcome to Ocktoberfest 2021.
Neil Dye, the rock and roll guy, your DJ for Oktoberfest 2021.
MWR manager. Thanks for coming to Oktoberfest 2021.